When I first came on staff at Calvary Church about 2.5 years ago, I was coming out of the corporate world after a lengthy career there, and I always had a risk management team in-house. As part of the corporation, they had a risk management department, and when we had challenges in this area, I knew who to call. When I came on at a church of 10,000 people with lots of ministries that we're involved in, all over the community, actually all over the world for that matter, as well as facilities, large facilities, I realized the risk that this church was facing from an exposure standpoint, but also realized we had nobody in-house to call. And with my role as an executive pastor, it kind of fell on me, but I had a lot of other responsibilities and knew there's no way I could know everything I needed to know about risk management. So it really was important to me to find a partner that I could trust, that I could depend on, and I will tell you, I found that in Jerry Sparks and the team at AG Financial Insurance. To be able to connect with them right off the bat and realize the level of expertise they have, the accessibility that was offered to me, questions that came up, the resources that were available. It's something that every church needs, and in talking to other executive pastors around the country, I realized every church faces exposure regardless of the size of the church. A church of 50 to a church of 10,000 has exposure. Very few churches understand that exposure or how to minimize the risk associated with it. And that's where having a risk management partner like AG Financial Insurance has been so effective for Calvary Church ever since I've come on staff here. I really appreciate the tools and the resources that from day one were made available to me as soon as we've engaged AG Financial Insurance. From the very beginning, having them available to talk about the ministries and really understand, hear first, listen first before they just start offering services and products, but to hear what we're involved in. We're a very diverse church. We're located in the most diverse zip code in the United States. We have ministries, multi-ethnic ministries. We have ministries from infant all the way to seniors. We have going on every week. There's activities all over this campus, and to have a risk management partner that has resources available to us, not just online, which they're incredible. The resources that are available online, I can start there. I can go online. I can find documents. I can find example contracts. I can find tools and resources for youth and children's ministry. But when I come across those nuances, to be able to pick up the phone and call a partner who isn't just one church, but is actually working with thousands of churches across the country. They've experienced it all. There's nothing that I'm going to experience here at Calvary Church that AG Financial Insurance hasn't already seen. And so for me to be able to call them before an event, before a ministry gets launched, and say, what are some things I should be thinking of before we acquire a new piece of property? We literally launched a multi-site campus not too long ago and was able to call them first and say, we're getting ready to launch a campus. What are some things we should be thinking about? And to walk through the insurance and the risk management needs associated with that initiative has been incredibly helpful. Also, the Risk Management Live, watching that with Jerry Sparks and Dr. Richard Hammer and just relevant topics that are facing churches today that you can get ahead of the game. You can actually see what these challenges are going to be and start making changes to your policies, to the different ways you approach ministry, still to make your ministry more effective and to limit the exposure that your ministry may face, the distractions that they may face if you weren't aware of those challenges before they came. That's been incredibly helpful for Calvary Church. As a pastor, I think it's so important for you to understand your God-given talent, what God has called you to, and the gifts and the abilities He's given you for that calling. Very few pastors actually have risk management as one of their areas of expertise. When they list their resume, you're not going to see risk management on there. It's why it's so important, because it's such a significant area for a church, and yet so few understand it. It's important for them to have a partner who is an expert, who partners with them in ministry, but also an expert in the area of insurance and risk management. AG Financial Insurance has been exactly that for Calvary Church. For us to be able to reach out to them when we're launching a new ministry, when we are expanding children's ministry, when we're launching a new campus for that matter, to be able to reach out to a risk management partner in ministry who has Calvary Church's best interest in mind, who has our faculty and our pastors and our board members' best interest in mind, that can help us foresee what some challenges might be and be able to address those challenges before they ever surface and minimize the disruptions to ministry and the exposure to the church. It's important I don't care how big your church is or how small your church is, where you're located at. It's important to have a true partner in this area of risk management and insurance. And that's exactly what AG Financial Insurance, Jerry Sparks and his team there has been able to do for Calvary Church. And we depend on them heavily. Every time I have a question I pick up the phone, I know who to call, I jump online, I know where to look, and I appreciate that.